And this is the border of the property, basically from like that box to this box here. So I'm not allowed to cross this line. I am not allowed to cross that line. If I cross that line, the police are coming and I am going to jail. Hey, good morning. How are you? It's a little bit grey today. A few drops of rain. You know what? It's a beautiful day. Awesome day to be out for a walk. And this one's a little bit different, in fact, because it's quite repetitive. It's going from up there to down there and repeat. Why? Well, I'll tell you why in just a moment. What are you getting up to today, though? How are you? If you're a new friend or an old friend, hit me up down below in the comments. Would love to hear about how you're going. Oh, it's just awesome to be outside, even if it's raining. Let's go for a walk. Well, let me tell you a little bit of a story. One of the big goals for our whole trip around Australia. Oh, if you didn't know, I'm traveling around Australia at the moment. There you go. Something we've been planning, me and my family, for 4.5 years. And one of the big goals was to come across into Western Australia and to go right up in the northwest to a place called the Kimberleys and spend a bunch of time up there because it's really remote and beautiful. And so we were super pumped about that. But of course, this whole coronavirus thing happened, and we firstly didn't get away on the trip in time. And secondly, the Western Australian border essentially has been closed for 6 months, maybe 8 months, a long time anyway. We did manage to get away on the trip. That's a whole nother story. I think if you see one of the earlier episodes, I explain how that happened. But essentially, about 3 weeks ago, we were sitting in Rockhampton, which is in far northeast Queensland, geographically as far from the border as you can get with Western Australia. And they announced that the border was going to be opening because there were no cases left pretty much in all of Australia. And so we just went, well, that was the goal, wasn't it? So we need to go for it. We just need to seize that opportunity while it's there. And so we did. Jumped in the car, 6,400 kilometres, in essentially 12 days of driving. Had a few days off in the middle because that's a lot of driving. And finally got here to Western Australia. But because there was an outbreak in South Australia, literally the night before we decided we were going to cross over, we've had to self-quarantine here for 2 weeks. And so I'm getting towards the end of self-quarantine, but I'm still locked up. And that's why this morning's walk is so limited. There they are, our 2 temporary homes. Our long-term temporary home for most of the year, and our temporary home for these couple of weeks of isolation. I've been a little bit desperate for some exercise, so what I did was fill up a couple of jerry cans with water. Oh, that's 20 kilos. And essentially I've been carrying 2 jerry cans of water up and down the driveway in order to get my exercise. One of the things we decided once we found out that we had to self-quarantine, which is essentially when we're sitting on the border between South Australia and Western Australia, and the police officer there said, okay, you're going to need to have booked accommodation for the next couple of weeks in order for us to let you in. You know, we were looking for kind of the cheapest thing that we could find. And then suddenly we kind of realised that we had it all wrong, and that we should really make the most of this opportunity, enforced on us, but still an opportunity. And so we basically booked them the nicest thing that we could find, which is here in Augusta in the southwest of Western Australia. So if you look at a map of Australia, right down in the bottom southwest corner, as far to the southwest before Antarctica as you can go, that's where we are right now in Augusta. And we booked that. Yeah, it's probably more money than we should have spent and what have you, but we just wanted to make sure that we had the best possible experience here in WA while we're in isolation. And I think that's like an important thing, right? Is you don't always get to decide your circumstances. You don't get to decide what comes at you, but you do get to decide how you respond to it. And for us, we decided to turn what could have been 2 miserable weeks stuck in a really small caravan or a really small chalet or something in the middle of nowhere, feeling miserable, into what will probably be one of our most epic memories on the trip so far, which is 2 weeks in a beautiful house with an amazing view, by giving up some of that, you know, artificial numbers on paper stuff that we've been accumulating over the years. You know, you only live once, so sometimes you just got to make the most of the situation, whatever that situation may be. And you can turn something that maybe isn't good into something that's really good, just with one decision. Oh man, it's really raining now. I think Augusta must be one of the windiest and wettest places in all of Australia. But you know what? I'm just so happy to be here. 4.5 years we planned to get into Western Australia, and literally, if we hadn't made that decision to leave Rockhampton on the day that we did, and to cross the border into WA the day that we did, we wouldn't be here at all. And who knows if it'd even be possible at all on this trip. So it's awesome that it's raining. It's a beautiful day just to be alive and to be experiencing something that maybe we didn't expect. But man, it's pretty good anyway, isn't it? It's just a good reminder, yeah, that so much stuff is forced on us in our lives. In fact, there's probably more stuff that is outside our control than inside our control. And so the only thing you can do is control your response to it. And I like to think that, you know, you should always try and control your response to make that a positive response as best you can. You know, the fact it's raining. I've been waiting for days to do this vlog, and I thought, I'll get up this morning, you know. And of course, it's the one day that it's actually raining. But so what? It's awesome to be out walking in the rain when you've been stuck inside for weeks. And then try this, right? Just this morning, look at this. Look at this absolutely extraordinary, huge, it's a xanthorrhea, it's a bush tree, a grass tree here in Australia. But just look at the magnificent shape of this thing. I hadn't actually noticed that until this morning, even though I've probably walked up and down this driveway like about 500 times now. So you can always find a different perspective and find something new to look at, even when you've done something repeatedly. You just got to look at it with fresh eyes. And this is the border of the property, basically from like that box to this box here. So I'm not allowed to cross this line. And isn't that funny? It's like this completely artificial construct. There was basically no coronavirus. We just transited through South Australia. We didn't go anywhere near anywhere where there was any coronavirus. And the outbreak, you know, as documented in newspapers, basically somebody had lied about where they'd picked it up, and so it wasn't as dangerous as they thought. But as a result, we now have this this situation where they had to make a decision, right decision in my view, just to protect the public. But that one decision has created this like literally artificial line on the concrete, which is kind of weird, isn't it? Come on, I'll race you to the top. It's been great having you here on the walk with me. And I'm really glad that I could show you this incredible part of Australia, the driveway of 52B Albany Terrace here in Augusta. No, but seriously, you don't always get to choose your cards. You only get to choose how you play them, as Randy Pouch said. Whatever you're going up to today, I hope it's a great one, because every day is a beautiful day. I'll see you next time on the morning walk. I'm going to go walk some more laps. Have a great day.